Andy Lang, Gianni The Greek, Art DiCesare. What a show we have lined up. It's Friday. I'm Lawrence Presman. Teddy Covers is my co-host, and you're watching WagerTalk Today. And I'm sure Teddy will come on right now and fix this intro.
I certainly will, Lawrence. Nonetheless, you did a good job of actually getting the guests out this time. Let's talk about what we're going to be talking about. A couple of UFC fights. Trey Waters, Terrence McKinney with Gianni The Greek. And he's going to talk a pair of NBA props. One for T-Wolves Nuggets, one for Knicks Pacers tonight, as well as some UFC. And Art DiCesare, he does what nobody else can do because he gives us the information from the other side of the counter that we don't get very often. So it should be a loaded Friday show. Lawrence, let's get right into it.
Yeah, Teddy, and I hear a rumor, I don't know what the topic is, but your What Did Bettors Learn is ripping on the Prez?
Yes.
Excellent.
As usual.
Excellent. I can't wait to hear it. Andy Lang joining us right off the bat. How are you, my brother?
I'm good. I was up late with the Pacers coaching staff. We were going through film trying to file grievances for our 138th play that we wanted to write a letter to. So embarrassing. It's so embarrassing as a Pacers fan. All right, on to tonight's game.
Well, speaking of the Pacers, let's go right there, bro. You got a prop bet for us on Obi-Wan Kenobi. Fill us in.
Yeah, it's been exciting to watch Obi Toppin in this series. Pacers did a masterful job of getting him for just a couple of second-round picks from the Knicks, and he's turned out to be a really, really useful asset in this series. Just his athleticism and running the floor, his three-point shooting has been really good, so we're going to take a look at his points over 10.5. I debated going with points, rebounds, and assists, but I'm going to stick with just points. He's had 12 points in the first game, 20 points in the second game against the Knicks, 2 of 3 and 2 of 4 from three-pointers, shooting 70% from the field in this series. And just watching it, the looks that he's getting are good. These are not contested three-point shots that he's taking. He's getting to the rack, and he is really, really good in transition. When the Pacers get out and run, he's fast, and the Knicks have an absolute lack of depth in the front court here. So I really think this is a really good game for Toppin. He's played 19 and 20 minutes. So if he gets that same minutes, which the bench players for the Pacers have been so effective, it wouldn't surprise me if we see a couple more minutes from guys like Toppin, guys from Shepherd, guys from McConnell. Whenever they've come in, they've really given them a spark. So I really like Toppin to have another good game. This is at home where the Pacers play a lot better than they do on the road. I think this is a little bit of a letdown spot for the Knicks. I like Toppin over his points.
So I'm interested in the marketplace because, again, I'm not someone that bets props every night. But Toppin's gone over this number 6 straight games. He's getting the usage. He's getting the opportunities. Where was this total when it started? I mean, was Toppin an 8.5 guy, a 5.5 guy? Because 10.5 is low for where he's been. But I don't know where this whole where it began for Toppin. But it feels to me like when a guy goes over 6 games in a row, the only way you're looking is to bet him, which is clearly what you're doing.
Yeah, it feels like the books have been stuck on his average for the season. The average for the regular season was 10.3. And so he comes out against Milwaukee in the game 1 and only has 4 points. Then the next game he has 9. So I think this might be just one of those where the books are a little bit slow catching up to it. This is not a huge popular prop where there's going to be a ton of money coming in on it. But you're right, Teddy. I think this is just a case of the books are a little bit slow on this line move. You look at his season average and you can say, well, only 10.3. But when you watch the games and you see how good he's been in the playoffs, I think it's a little bit lazy on the books part. So 10.5, I agree with you. Seems low, doesn't seem like a trap, so I'll keep playing it.
Andy Lang joining us, everyone. Andy is on a freaking roll. What else is new? Andy, you're one of the best handicappers at WagerTalk. You're one of the best handicappers on the planet. We're honored to have you. 5% best bet run. 14-7 in the NBA playoffs. Up 57 units in all sports since the start of 2024. What do you have going for the clients tonight?
Well, tonight I've got one NBA prop that is up, but really we got the 5% play that goes off tomorrow. I've just gone ahead and attached the small prop for tonight onto the 5% play. So just grab the 5% play. You're going to get the prop for tonight and then the big play for tomorrow. Yeah, I've had a really good run the last couple nights, seeing the NBA really, really well. 14-7 in the playoffs. It's really what we've been focusing on. Kind of laid off the NHL a little bit too, because we haven't been seeing it as good. Haven't had a play in that sport in like over a week. So when you're running good in a sport, that's where I like to put the focus and the concentration. Look for big cash tomorrow.
Well, Andy, I don't want to hijack your segment, but you gave me a beautiful segue. You're not doing NHL, but this guy is. And I have my biggest NHL playoff card maybe ever tonight. I mean, I don't think I've had 3 NHL bets in a playoff. I had one in the first round. I have one tonight, 3 NHL bets. One of them is a 4% play. I'm on a 16-1 one run in those 4% plays. And literally, just when I got on the show, I asked for a promo code, which I am only giving out on this show. Use the promo code FRY10. That's FRY10, F-R-I 10. You get $10 off of my 6-pack tonight, 3 NHL, 2 MLB, and 1 NBA. And yes, I will mention it again. I was not going to do it during your segment, but hey, maybe I'll do it during everyone's segment now. So we've got a prop bet on the Timberwolves. Michael Conley, tell us about it.
Whenever you start off the sentence with, I don't mean to hijack your segment, it's the exact same as saying, like, I don't mean to offend you, but here comes something really offensive coming at you.
Well, you're not doing NHL. You mentioned you were not doing NHL. I used it as an opportunity to sell the Prez. What can I tell you, bro?
What a great alley-oop. I get the assist on that one. Yeah, let's take a look at Mike Conley. This has been kind of one of those under-the-radar props that just keeps hitting, and it's Mike Conley over 2.5 rebounds. The books are struggling what to do with this number, so they just keep adding a little bit of juice to it, and I still think it's playable. It's around the minus 150-ish, depending on your book. He's gone over this in 9 straight games. He had 3 against Denver before that, 4 against Denver before that. And the books are not moving this up to 3.5 because he's hovering around that 4 and 3 number. So they just add a little juice. And so I'll love it. I'll keep playing it. His minutes are pretty much dialed in. They use the same rotation. He's playing 31.8 minutes in the playoffs. And he's had 6 rebound chances in each of the 2 games against the Nuggets. The Nuggets struggling to shoot the ball. They're struggling to get good shots, so that leads to more rebound chances, and Conley has been really, really good at this one. So this is one of those lazy lines, just rinse and repeat, keep playing it until it goes on a little bit of a losing streak. But if you've been playing this one for the last few games, you're really, really happy with it. So I'll play it again tonight, and then again if we get to Game 5. So hopefully we get a couple more games because I'd love to keep cashing this one.
No, does it matter at all that Gobert's back for the T-Wolves tonight? I know that Conley's been cashing this. You know, many of them with 3 rebounds, getting there by the hook. But he's been cashing this, dating back to the regular season and so far in every playoff game, many of which Gobert played. But the fact that Gobert and Towns both on the court tonight for Minnesota, in theory, should lead to fewer rebounds from the guards. Does that concern you at all?
So in each of the last 4 games with Gobert, he's had 4 rebounds. It's almost like Gobert and whatever big kind of cancel each other out. They're blocking each other out, allows for more rebounding chances. He's gone over in 9 out of the last 10 games that he's played with Gobert. So the numbers, for whatever reason, suggest that it doesn't really matter with Gobert in or out of the lineup. So I'll keep playing it.
Andy Lang. Andy, lots of UFC talk. We had Kyle Anthony on yesterday. He's done incredible in the UFC. You're amazing in the UFC. Gianni's amazing in the UFC, and he's got a couple of bets coming up for us in that sport. Really great betting sport, lots of opportunity, and that's why we talk about it. I mean, from our perspective, we just want to give out winners. So let's focus on Tabatha Ricci. I think it's Christina's younger sister, fighting Chad Pennington's aunt, Tecia. Where are we going here?
Wow. So Tecia Pennington, you might know her as Tecia Torres. She is married.
Tico's kid.
Yes. So I'm going to take a little sprinkle here on Tabatha Ricci. So Tabatha Ricci, she came off a loss on a split decision against Lupe Godinez. It was a fight I'm not really sure she lost, but it was a way to it broke her big winning streak. She was on a 4-fight winning streak. She loses a really, really close one. I like Tabatha Ricci's skill set. She's got great cardio. She's got pretty good volume. She's pretty skilled everywhere. And she's facing Tecia Pennington, who is a fade the baby theory. Tecia Pennington has not fought in 2 years, and she hasn't won in 3 years. She just came off of having her first kid, and she just did an interview where she talked about getting her flexibility, her mobility, and her cardio back. It was not an interview that gave a lot of confidence in there. So this is someone who lost to Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie Dern is not a striker, and Mackenzie Dern absolutely outstruck her. Tabatha Ricci is a better striker on the feet. So the last fight that Pennington had, which was back in April of 2022, she got outstruck by a fighter that is not that great of a striker. So Tecia Pennington's only 13-6 in her entire career. We're coming off of a really, really long layoff. Tabatha Ricci is looking to get back on the winning streak. Minus 135 seems like a pretty good price to me. I'll take Ricci in this one.
So total in this 2.5 rounds over juiced to minus 400. Does it make any sense to look at Ricci by decision as opposed to Ricci, would you get a decent price at Ricci by decision? Because that's certainly the way the markets think there's going to be. No one's knocking anyone out in this one.
Absolutely. I think if it's below minus 150, just take a minus 150 in case you have a slip on a banana peel type of situation where, somebody got caught in an arm bar or something like that. So yeah, absolutely. You can get a good price on decision. To me, I don't really look at fighters to win by decision unless they're around the minus 200 mark where I really, really need to do something, to get the juice. Teddy, there is nothing worse when you have a fighter to win by decision and then there's an arm bar in round 3. You're like, what? How did I lose that one? In UFC, it's so frustrating. So minus 135 is good enough for me to just stick with the money line.
That damn arm bar. Andy Lang. Guys, Andy and Steve Merrill will be handling the show without Teddy and I next Friday. It should be fun. And that's a good segue, Teddy, into what you're about to talk about. Andy, thanks for joining us, man. Best of luck. Kick ass on your 5% play tomorrow. We love you lots. Okay, Theodore. Well, I want to give look, dude. I gave out that promo Fry 10, and Kenny, Rick, Samuel, Josh. Thank you guys for already using that promo on my 6-pack of plays tonight. So much love to you guys. Had a 3-0 night last night. I'm feeling it, man. I'm golfing today. I got poker tonight. Oh, my Lord. But, Teddy, before we get into you taking the piss out of me, people have to understand who you are. And I did a deep dive into not only who you are, but where you're going. Dan?
I'm already there.
Yeah.
I'm already there. Absolutely. The get off my lawn guy. Appreciate it. That's a nice segue. But Prez, you did say something yesterday. It really rubbed me the wrong way. And I wanted to talk about it as opposed to just letting it fester. And I wanted to talk about it in an instructive manner. Not in a, I'm going to rip you manner, but an instructive manner.
Boy.
There's a class difference between you and I, Prez. You have a billionaire brother. I grew up in a cheap apartment outside New York City. All right. I came out of college with student loans. You didn't. So you live the rich guy lifestyle. No problem with that. You got a vacation house in Whistler, 3 to 4 trips to Vegas every year to play poker. No big deal. Rich guy offers to take me and my wife to a concert. Great. I appreciate it. Thank you. We're friends, I guess. No.
I guess.
He invited us. This is something that rich guys do that bugs me. It really bugs me. You invited me to a concert. Great. Then yesterday you decide you're going to throw it back in my face. Oh, I'm spending $800 on concert tickets for you. Now you'll feel guilty if you can't pick me up at the airport with weed.
I don't want you to pick me up.
Dude. If
So
you
what I
have
said-
money and you're treating your friends to stuff, don't be a Prez. Hook them up. Don't mention it again. They'll appreciate it, but it's not something you're supposed to bring up again and again, lording your wealth over me. F off when you do that.
Okay.
Lawrence, really. So that's my take on what happened yesterday.
I would like to respond to that.
Celtics.
I would like to respond. So firstly, I did not ask you to pick me up at the airport. I asked you to pick up some edibles, and I will see you at dinner that night.
No, you said
where
that
you
afterwards.
will give it to me. That's number one. Number two, you said no. So after you said no, I'm going to hold shit over your head. Because what kind of idiot friend would say no to going to the dispensary 2 minutes from his house to do me a solid?
2 minutes.
So you know what,
I'll
Teddy?
do this up.
I'm going to make this easy. I'm going to make this easy. I'll just bring from Canada. Don't worry about it. And you know what?
I'm not worried about it.
I still want to take you and your beautiful wife to the dead. And I want to dance with you. I want to hold your hand during Broke Down Palace. I want to cry in your shoulders during Stella Blue. I want to dance in your arms during the other one. And I'm going to video it all and tweet it all out, baby. So, yeah. Teddy.
This is my only point.
Yep.
This is my only point, is that when you do so, if you have money and you do something nice for somebody, which get some concert tickets, it's nice. You don't say, oh, I did this nice thing for you. Now you got to do this for me. It's not a tit for tat. That's my
If you
point.
say no,
Sometimes we run into it.
if you say no, I'm going to
It's
say
not a
that.
tit for tat.
Okay.
Great. I also got to talk
Speaking
about the
of
last
tit.
5 minutes. I got to talk about the last 5 minutes of Cavs Celtics last night. You know, Celtics, I got the over in the game, over 212. But I know that my clients, a lot of them have 212 and a half or 213 where it closed. Celtics empty their bench with 5 minutes to play. I need 14 points in the last 5 minutes of a blowout game. 21 possessions. I got the 13. At least Brissett hit the 3 for push. It could have been worse. But I hope some of the clients or most of the clients were able to push. That was frustrating finish last night if you had over with Cleveland being the clear right side. Lawrence?
I was on the under in that game, bro. Easy winner. Never in doubt. Thank you for the segue. Went 3-0 last night. Have a massive, massive card going tonight. Really appreciate you constantly allowing me to promote. Guys, we do have Gianni coming up. Art DiCesare at the end of the show. If you guys like what you're hearing, take a minute, a second out of your day. Please kindly hit that like button. It's greatly appreciated. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, what are you waiting for? We have incredible content all the time. We have baseball shows, basketball shows, hockey shows. Puck Time's one of our most watched shows on our network. We have short videos of specific games. Bet on it. WagerTalk Today. Really the best betting channel on the planet by far. Take a second, subscribe to our channel. Really appreciate it. And Teddy, we're going to go straight to your big game breakdown, if that's okay.
That's fine with me. Big game breakdown time. We're going to talk a little NBA. Let me just pull up the Wager Talk live screen so I can give you current numbers right now. NBA, Boston Celtics, Cleveland Cavaliers, game 3 on Saturday night. Series all of a sudden tied at 1-1. Wager Talk live on screen. Boston -8 currently. Total sitting 211/211.5. And this is a game where I am absolutely going to look at the over, even though undercashed by a hook or a point at the closing number in game number 2. Look, the Celtics finished number 1 in the NBA in offensive efficiency in the regular season. They're among the leaders in offensive efficiency here in the postseason. At least they were until last. I didn't look this morning. But they were just shy of 120 points per 100 possessions. Despite facing, the slower-paced, defensive-minded Miami Heat in the first round. Boston hung 120 on the Cavs in the opener. Yesterday, not so much, and they quit early in that contest. And the quotes afterwards were, yeah, we're coming to play in game number 3. Cleveland, who has had all kinds of offensive problems here in the postseason, they figured it out against Boston. They showed signs in game 1. In game 2, they got going. And I don't think that changes back on their home floor. Cleveland's game plan is not let's slow everything down and play half-court sets against the Cavs. It's let's push a little pace, see what we get in transition, see how many threes we can drain. And, of course, the Cavs have a boatload of three-point shooters that we would expect. A lot of role players tend to play better in these home playoff games than on the highway. So I think New York's going to – I think Boston's going to get theirs. I think Indiana what am I doing?
Dude,
Boston's going to get theirs.
Breathe.
Cleveland's going to get theirs, and this game's going to end up going over the total. There's your big game breakdown. Not my best work, Lawrence. Nonetheless, I do like over on Saturday night in Indy. Back to you, my friend.
Teddy covers. Teddy, we're waiting on Gianni right now, but I do want to read something that was written in the chat room because it's bloody brilliant. A lot of people won't recognize this reference, but Andrew Wojcicki writes, wherever Teddy goes, people all complain. That's pretty good, right? That's high level good. That's nice wit. What?
I don't know. What do you? What's the tune that you were singing that to? I don't know what the tune.
Yeah,
is.
I know. I can't sing it all. It's one of the Dead songs. Anyway, Teddy, I want to talk to you about. I'm gonna take apart this Carolina New York Rangers game. It goes tomorrow. New York Rangers last night with an unbelievable victory, a 3-2 win in overtime in Carolina, and now they've won 3 in a row against Carolina. They're up 3-0, and they've won 7 straight playoff games. They're plus 132 tomorrow, and I got to tell you, I think there's value there, Teddy, but I really like the over in this game. This is a 7 p.m. Eastern game. I like to play overs in all these elimination games. I look at this and I think to myself, 5.5 total here. Now, I understand the last game was an under. It was 3-2, but when you go down the list, both these teams are scoring at will. New York Rangers put up 3 last night. The night before that, they put up 4-4, 4-3, 4-4, and 4 in the playoff. This team has scored 4 or more goals in 5 of the 7 games they've played in the playoffs, and they're almost unstoppable offensively. They're throwing waves of offense at you. And Carolina, they had a terrible game last night, but this scoring-wise, but when you look at the numbers, Carolina put up 47 shots on the New York Rangers. So that what that's telling me now is that they're trying, and they're not going to die. They're not going to roll over and die. I'm looking for both these teams to play to the over. I think we're going to get another overtime game. I think it'll be 4-3 ending. I lean on the New York Rangers here at plus 134, but I really like the over. It'll likely be a client release play. So take the over in the New York Rangers Carolina game. And again, use that promo code FRY10 if you want $10 off my package today. $10 off. I got a 6-pack of plays going, including a 4% play, and I'm on a 16-1 run. Gianni The Greek joining us, my brother. How are you, my friend?
Man. I don't know how good the connection's going to be, brother, so we're going to have to go fast. My Wi-Fi cable company comes in tomorrow, so I'm doing this from that phone. Just moved into the new house.
Dude, you are like Charlize Theron, bro. A little bit of you is better than no you.
I'll take it.
So, Gianni, we're talking UFC. This is a sport that you are incredible at. Trey Waters minus 165. Tell us why you want to bet him. And he is completely frozen. Teddy, tell us why we should bet Trey Waters.
So when it comes to UFC, there are some sports, if you went to me, Lawrence, if you gave me a hockey game, said, all right, give me a Panther. And I've heard you guys talk enough about hockey that I can make a case. All right. I could probably bullshit it well enough to get through 60 minutes or 60 seconds. That being said, UFC. Who am I trying to make a case for? A fighter I've never heard of against a fighter I've never heard of in a matchup where I don't know either one's style. Yeah, we'll skip that. That is an
Teddy,
analysis, I'm afraid, that I am not capable of providing for our audience.
Teddy, that reference was from St. Stephen. Wherever Teddy goes, people all complain. St. Stephen would remain.
Sure, good.
I
Okay.
hope they don't play that song. I honestly, that is not my favorite Dead song by any stretch. So last night, we're waiting on Art DiCesare, everybody. I will fill you guys in on
I'm
what's
just
going
talking
on.
to myself.
What?
We had Gianni in our ear first.
Yeah, we'll
No,
try
just let them
Gianni
do
until
it.
Art comes. Listen, like I said, man, Gianni is like Hail Berry. A little bit of hail is better than none. Okay.
All right, so let me just get.
No.
Yeah.
It's
So
not. He's got no connection, dude. Thank you,
we're gonna
Gianni. We
we're
appreciate
gonna
you
skip
efforting.
Gianni, which is fine.
But let's give out his 2 plays.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
All right. Okay.
He's got 2 bets tonight that he was going to give out, and my apologies to everyone listening. We're going to sort this out. Trey Waters minus 165 and Terrence McGinney at plus 150. If you guys have any opinions on those 2 bets, put it up in the chat room. I'm very curious, but I do want to say something about Gianni. Regardless of his really bad internet, it doesn't get much better than him from a betting perspective. I mean, you can read his numbers. Gianni is up massive profit, and he's doing this year in and year out. We have a steam room going Saturday, May 11th at 6 p.m. Use the code ACE25 to join that steam room. It's up on the screen, wt.buzz/steam room 59. It is so worth your while to join Gianni in the steam room, because not only are you going to get winning bets, but he knows so much about betting theory. You're going to learn so much. If you log into any show we've ever done, listening to Gianni is right up there. Teddy,
Yeah.
we need to kill
Here,
time.
let me talk about something for a minute too.
And I can't. Yeah,
I'm trying to kill time. I want to talk about the two fights that Gianni talked about. They're not tonight. This is both for tomorrow, UFC Fight Night in St. Louis, and they're both undercard fights. Waters fighting against Billy Goff. He's in the minus 165, minus 170 range total in that fight, just 1.5. So it's expected to be 2.5 juice to the under. It's expected to be a relatively short affair. The other one, Terrence McKinney, also on the undercard. Look at the WagerTalk Live odds screen. McKinney against Esteban Ribovics. Anyhow, he's a dog, plus 150. That line holding. That's the one where the line is sitting at 1.5. The total 1.5 juice to the under. That's not a fight that's expected to go the distance. McKinney live as a dog, says Gianni the Greek. Lawrence?
Yeah, so we have Art coming on any minute now. Teddy, there's a concert series that goes around. It's based out of Toronto, but it does play all over North America. It's called Classic Albums Live. And basically they play a classic album. It's studio musicians, world-class, talented musicians. And they play a famous album, like a couple of weeks from now, they're doing Led Zeppelin 1. And then they go on intermission and they come back and then they play like Led Zeppelin's greatest hits. I get tickets to most of these shows because I love live music. And last night I went to see them, and the classic album they played was Synchronicity by The Police. I want to say for the record, that is such a piece of shit album. I was dying in that concert, dying. It's like, how do you combine jazz and pop music with dolphin sounds and sleeping? I highly do not recommend anyone ever listening to that album again. It does not stand the test of time. Even King of Pain and Every Breath You Take isn't great. Boo to last night's concert. But I had great action afterwards. Art DiCesare joining us. Arthur, Thank you for bailing us out, bro. We were drowning here, Teddy and I. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I didn't realize I was coming on VH1 to talk to Kurt Loder.
Whoa, Art DiCesare. Art, I watch a lot of those VH1, even now, because there's a whole library of them on TV. And the BG one was spectacular, just for the record. But I'm a big fan of those VH1 series. But what I love about them is how it was filmed. It's so clearly obvious that 1980s, it's hard to watch film wise. Let's get into some actionable information, and let's start with the NHL. Look, I'm going to jump to tomorrow. We'll go back to today's game, but we have a situation here where the Rangers can win 8 in a row and sweep 2 teams, including a very, very good Carolina team. Do you have any thoughts on this particular game? And after that, what type of bets are you taking in NHL for tonight's 2 games?
Yeah, Prez, especially in the NHL, you never want to say series is over. It's 3-0. We've seen teams come back. But you and I were spot on, man. We didn't understand the Ranger line. I didn't understand the Ranger series price. I thought the teams were pick 'em. I mean, I thought Carolina was maybe a slight favorite, but for them to be $1.60 in the series made no sense. The Rangers have obviously shown how great they have been. Well, all the games have been tight, but I'm with you. I think you'll probably see some over money because we'll have a 5.5 total. And besides the game last night, all these second-round series games have been going over. That Ranger game is the only one that didn't go over. The rest of the games have gone over. I'm sure you'll see Carolina money like we did in Game 3. I mean, they were, as high as almost $1.80 in Game 3. Then the price came down because the backup was put in. Obviously, a lot shorter. We're near the $1.40 range now. But I think a lot of people will feel, obviously, desperate team trying to save their season at home. And they've been so great at home, Carolina. So I'm sure we'll see Carolina money. As far as tonight, we've seen Panther money. We opened $1.18. We're now $1.28. So a 10-cent move there to to Florida at Boston in Game 3 in a series tied 1-1. Under money is there. It's not that we've taken it, but it's juiced to the under 5.5. Total under -120. And Edmonton, Vancouver is interesting. We opened Edmonton $1.25 favorite. The market just moved. It's not that we took bets on Vancouver, but it's slightly moved towards Vancouver. Now you can get Edmonton a little bit shorter at $1.20. Total of 6, juice to the over, -120. Not that Edmonton's in desperation because they'll go home and play their games, but they blew that game and they're trying to tie this series right now. And then look ahead to Dallas. Dallas and Colorado, what a crazy series. Avalanche open Game 3. To me, it's kind of a short favorite, -130. I think the Avalanche, man, they almost came back last night too. I think they're going to be raring to go in Game 3. I think lay it now with Dallas at -130 because I think that could go up to about -140 or even higher.
Urgency with the Dallas Stars, if you like them,
Teddy.
For tomorrow. And Art, I do want to ask you this because it's in my mind, it's an important question. All right, you live in Las Vegas, a place where there's lots of entertainment options. Lawrence lives in Toronto, a place where there's lots of entertainment options. If you were going to see a concert for a band playing a specific album, would you decide before the concert whether you like that album or not, or at the concert whether you
Teddy,
like that
I had free tickets, dude. I didn't buy those tickets. Somebody called me with 1 second notice saying they couldn't make the concert. Do you want to go? I had sat on my couch for 3 days in a row. I was like, sure, I'll go. And hey, the second set was amazing. Like, come on. The Police have some incredible songs. Just that particular album absolutely stinks. Sorry, Art. You can.
It's a question for Art, Lawrence.
Yeah,
I don't know why you're jumping in.
Art.
Teddy, I'm a simple guy, man. If there's playoff games on, I'm sitting at home. That's just me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, me and you both. Generally, I'll get off my lawn. I'm an old guy, no question about it. And I want to talk a little UFC with you, Art. We don't talk a lot of UFC generally, but we missed Gianni's segment today with technical issues. What are you seeing when it comes to Fight Night on Saturday? Anything stand out to you in UFC betting action? Who do the pros like? Who do the Joes like? What about Arthur DiCesare? Anything that you like for the big UFC card on Saturday night?
You know, Teddy, it's the one thing that I hate to say I haven't been great at following in my life. I feel like I miss the boat on UFC. I feel like it's such the young man's game, and like it's just something that I haven't been
How
able to.
old are you?
I'm 40. I think I missed it. I think
Yeah, he's one of us now.
Yeah,
Not one of us. He's a child.
No,
40. When you're look, it's 40s. 40's your cutoff. You're either one of them or one of us. He's one of us.
Okay, so last year he was one of them, and UFC was pretty big last year.
I was never I'm a team sports guy. That's just the way I roll. I have teams. I love the team sports. But a couple of underdogs that I see coming across my ticker all week. I see Aldrich coming across at plus 120, and I see Goff coming across at plus 140, plus 145. So a couple of dogs. UFC also is a sport that you see a ton of parlays in. You know, as you approach fight night on a Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, even Friday night, you see a ton of action through parlays. So, you know, a lot of 6-fighter, 8-fighter parlays. But those two dogs, like I said, JJ Aldrich and Billy Goff, taking money as dogs.
Art DiCesare joining us. Art, let's turn our attention to the NBA. And I'm guessing that this is the sport that is most bet right now. First, is that true? And second, tonight we've got 2 games, Indiana against the New York Knicks, Minnesota against Denver. Where's the action, and what does Art DiCesare like?
There's no doubt, Prez. NBA obviously takes center stage right now. Listen, the hockey betting is great, and the hockey betting really picks up. And it hurts that the Knights are out in town, because if the Knights keep rolling in every round they go through, even better. But the hockey really, you know, starts to catch up, but it doesn't catch the NBA. The NBA, obviously, incredible. Knicks at Pacers, obviously the Knicks up 2-0. You know, they have some injury concerns. Pacers -8, 222.5. We were 225.5. Took some really good under money there. You know, obviously there's no surprise here. There's going to be a lot of Indiana money. And they're in a spot, too, where they have a spread of 8. And then you're looking at a -5.5, -6 first half. That's usually how it goes in these must-win game 3s when they come home. So always keep an eye on that. It's a big number to lay, but I think I would lay the Pacers in all aspects. I think the Pacers really come to play tonight. I think they make this a series. Knicks will still win the series, but the Pacers finally get on the board. And then obviously the most surprising thing going on in sports right now, Denver at Minnesota.
Yeah.
Wolves -4 at home, total of 205. Minnesota obviously up 2-0, won the first 2 games in Denver. Took sharp money on the over at 203.5. There's been good two-way. We were at 4.5 yesterday, so we've taken some Denver money at 4.5. Taking some Minnesota money at 4, so really good two-way action on the side.
3-way.
Yeah, okay. But that's been good two-way. But like I said, most sharp money is coming on the over. And then just a note on OKC at Dallas. OKC at Dallas, that series now tied. Game 3, Mavs open -3. They are now the series favorites when they were not the series favorites coming in. Dallas now -130 on the series, so that's a series that is totally flipped.
So, Art, you said something earlier that I want to come back to a little bit. You talked about how NBA is the biggest sport that you have right now, and I want to ask you, in comparison to NFL, let's call a Thursday night NFL game versus a Sunday or Monday night that get the most action. But an NBA playoff game tonight versus a Thursday night NFL game, how much more action does the NFL get? Is it night and day? Is it, the 20-1, or is the ratio nowhere near that big?
Teddy, what I can do for you is this week I'll dive into the numbers and I'll go back and look. I don't want to say it's 20-1, but it is night and day. Comparing, I mean, Teddy, you know this. You could take preseason NFL games and not only just from a betting handle, look at like TV ratings. The NFL draft gets bigger TV ratings than MLB playoff games, NHL, NBA playoff games. It's just a different beat. It doesn't even count. But the NBA really, and I've said this for years on the show, NBA outside of NFL and college football, to me, is the second sport. It's the second sport that's bet. I mean, people love to bet the NBA, and that's regular season too. They bet it all year, even with all, everyone sitting out and all the weirdness that goes on. But once you ramp up to the playoffs, playoff basketball takes a lot of option, and we start opening our options of betting. A lot more props, a lot more first basket scores. We just offer a lot more when the playoffs come around, so then you see your handle go up as well.
Strong information from Arthur DiCesare, race and sports book risk supervisor over at the Westgate Superbook here in Las Vegas. The Superbook is clearly one of the books that has developed a reputation over the years as one of the books that caters to sharper bettors here in Las Vegas. Art DiCesare has fit in there very well, and he fits on this show very well. We love to have him at ArtDice21 on Twitter. He is a follow worth following. Before we let you go, Art, we have a few minutes left with you. I do want to talk a little MLB for tonight. What are you seeing in terms of early action on the baseball card, sides, totals, anything stand out to you? Who do the pros like? Who do the Joes like? Anything stand out for Arthur DiCesare?
Sure, a couple on both sides. Look at some sharp action first. Reds at Giants. That Giant offense is putrid. They can't score any runs. They scored one. They just can't. They can't score runs. It's unbelievable. The Red offense, pretty good, but sharp money's coming on the under. We were 7.5. We're now 7. Still juiced to the under, 7 minus 115. A little bit of sharp money on the Angels at home. They were taking a short plus price, plus 102, plus 103. That's against the Royals. Basically a pick 'em now, minus 107, minus 103, as you're split now, kind of looking in that range. So interesting to see the Angels get some love at home as a dog. And then the public's laying 2 big favorites on the road. Dodgers, no shock, laying $1.70 at the Padres, even though the Padres have played a lot better as of late. But, the Dodgers have been hot. And then the Rangers going to Colorado, like I just mentioned. They're laying $1.78 with the Rangers. So 2 big favorites that we're seeing the public lay and the public putting all their parlays today.
So here we are. It's the second week of May, the middle of May, Art. And from a sports book supervisor standpoint, what do the next couple of months look like? Does the action slow significantly? Is it crickets in there? How long do you see the sports book still being filled before it kind of empties out for in July when there's nothing going on?
Yeah, Teddy, that's a great question. And that's your time frame, right? You're talking probably another month, 4, 5, 6 weeks here. Obviously, NHL and NBA will end. We know that, listen, there are a lot of diehard baseball people. I'm one included, and they love to bet it day in and day out. But you're not filling the sports book on July 29th because there's baseball games on. It's just not happening. But, if we get, a really good – like if we were to ever get Oilers-Rangers in the Stanley Cup, that would fill the seats. There'd be people in to watch. If you got Celtics Timberwolves, I think people would be involved in that. I think people would like that as an NBA fan. If you ever got the Knicks in there, so obviously those type of things happen. And for us, listen, we got things going on. We just put up NFL divisions. We start to get up our NFL stuff. Start to really work on our NFL stuff, and then eventually you start getting where you're a little slow in mid to late July, and then hey. You got the Hall of Fame game, and you start to get into that mode. But then you also start planning vacations too, so that happens as well. But over the next 6 weeks, we'll be very busy with all the stuff going on day in and day out with all the playoff games.
Art DiCesare joining us. Art, I can't thank you enough for coming on. Teddy, Art DiCesare will be joining us moving forward every Tuesday and Friday. We're getting
awesome.
Double Art. Although you did mention, Art, that there will be some Tuesdays you can't be on. So just text me when that happens and we'll get someone to sit in your seat. Really, man, if I could, I'd have you on every day, bro.
Teddy,
yeah,
Prez, I would come on every day if it allowed me to, if my schedule allowed me to.
Yep.
There's nothing better than coming on for 15 or 20 minutes and talking sports with you guys and laying out what's going on behind the counter. It's one of my favorite things to do.
And it's Art, one of our favorite things as well, Art. Thank you for joining us, my friend. Art Dice 21 on Twitter, and you can meet him anytime you go down to the Westgate Superbook here in Las Vegas, assuming he's working. Lawrence, you got a what are we calling it? A penalty box, or are we done?
I did it already. I did it at the top of the show when we were waiting on Gianni.
Great.
It was
Right.
the over in the New York Rangers game. Guys, again, please use that promo code FRI, F-R-I-10. You get $10 off of my card tonight. I have a 6-pack of bets, including a 4%. I'm 16-1 in those. I really feel like I'm going to have a strong night tonight, Teddy. So I'll send you the plays too. Brother, thanks for the great week. We're going to see you on Tuesday, but we're doing one last show together on Monday. Take us home.
Sure, that's going to wrap for the week here on Wager Talk Today. Like Lauren said, we'll do it again next week, each and every weekday, 9 a.m. here on the left coast, noon for you back east. Between now and Monday's show, have a great weekend, and best of luck with all your wagers.